want to read it, read Stanley Lane Poe's The Moors in Spain, written in 1887, or Alejandro Macaziza. Read his book in Spanish, The Moors in Spain, and said that even the bath was introduced by those Africans.
He do goddamn motion picture.
They got me looking for the artifacts till my heart collapse. I be running through the scene like I'm on a lap. The way we left them on the scene put us on a map. So I be all up on the scene looking hard for all the stolen Moorish artifacts, huh? Like I'm Artemis. See, I be running through the scene like I'm on a mission. The way they left about the scene made it hard to miss them. See, I be all up on the scene looking for my shit like red flags and green sashes. We assassins. Triple gold, my fist high like I'm Selassie. Physical, your men die, we everlasting. In the cold like Northgate, winter, Alaska. Killing the pastor, breaking it down my mind like a disaster. Ass whooping the bastard. If you don't represent the serpentine bloodline, more by bloodline, welcome to the front line. Baby, I want mine. I'm so impatient, I'm cutting up in the lunch line. I call it crunch time. They tryna punk some, but I ain't Noble time. I'm Noble Ali, I'm working overtime. Hidden treaty, 1787 times 7-11, higher than 7 heavens. Study, no guessing. Better stomach the lesson. Who be trapped in the house? I'm home alone like heaven. So step in. I'm here to make my case with law and rest it. I shouldn't taught a fly, no heads, necklace. I keep a peppermint on the top of the dresser. Working 7 days a year, looking for the stolen Moorish artifacts, huh? Like I'm Artemis. See, I be running through the scene like I'm on a mission. The way they left about the scene made it hard to miss them. See, I be all up on the scene looking for my shit like
doctrine of discovery from a grave Al-Aqsa. Always challenge jurisdiction of your captors. Stand on your square, no apron or protractors. Who manifest hep chef, something not Cleopatra. Man is man tantra, know that self mantra. Get out the lower self and vibrate your chakras. Walking on the higher road, my staff on my levels up. Allah, if my God protected more with the sevens up. Four quadrant halos, celestial pharaohs. Expose those Socrates and Platos. Chopped down my cherry tree and still couldn't bury me. In their secret lodges, they pretend to be me. Indiana Jones, national treasures, angels and demons and one world agendas. Razor blade smiles, alien, reptilian, running corporate governments with warred civilians. Invisible wars, police state has risen, uplifting fallen from their mental prisons. 5-point star drawn, vortex and wormholes leads to behind the backs of turncoats.
Stolen Moorish artifacts, huh? Like I'm Artemis. See, I be running through the scene like I'm on a mission. The way they left about the scene made it hard to miss them. See, I be all up on the scene looking for my shit like.
But remember, when there came a time in 1506, Africans ruled Spain from 711. We were calling ourselves Moors, M-A-U-E-R-S, then M-O-O-R-S, from 711 until 1485.
Common sense was laid before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio.
Common sense was laid before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm rob bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Salt Bay, flipping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no but I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it. So the snake's still showing up, stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death, dip in slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astro plane entrances, Invoke the nemesis, abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finish him.
Morris Omar, key man or oracle, using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic, fact slap a dirty more or a Drew Ali critic, calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brainwaves, squashed by heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini, Selassie I in exile, reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real, all I see is false evidence, VAR feminists, stomped on by elephants, won't like go prejudice but want Moorish benefits, when you feel the pull magnetic resonance, apis horns of the sacred book called Maleficent, great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence, ace all the testaments, tap into remembrance, never to forget again, use energy right, not put spell effects on men, wandering the earth plane with no they live shades, keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades, it's been decades since Christian crusades, not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets, holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday, war ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Peace, Moors. Islam. Happy Holy Day again. Gonna keep it holy. Just want to make sure we're clear.
The Cujos and the Jamals.
Okay, stop right there. There's no such thing as Kujos and Jamals. There's no such thing as Kujos and Jamals. Those people following Cujo and all that type of stuff. We already put that on the record. That ain't what we're about. We're never ever been about some follow Cujo. Follow the Grand Sheik because he went to Chicago, so we gotta follow him. That's not. You're following what Noble Drew Ali wanted here. Nothing to do with individuals, right? Because he'll even tell you that it's not about me. It's not about Rami. It's not about Cujo. It's not about Jamal. It's about the Prophet, right? So then, how you talk about Cujos and Jamals? If it's not about us, then why are you making it sound like it's about us? Like, it's not about us. People are going to study who they study from. Well, we're going to call the Obashangos and the Asirs and the Tajes and whatever. Stop this. Right? Oh yeah, don't forget, go pick up that 77 Amazing Facts About the Moors by Cujo L and Rami Salam L. KhalifaMedia.com. Because, there was no issues when book got put out. Everybody's still getting their royalty checks still right now. So there can't, it can't be that crazy. And hear that people are giving up their check so that, they're not affiliated with these sovereign citizen Moors and all this. I would cancel the checks. I would demand, take my name off that book with that sovereign citizen guy on there. I don't want nothing to do with that. But none of that's going on. So, don't take it serious. Right? Don't take it serious. But I just wanted to clear up that point. Because, we already sent the email You know what I'm saying? And he's warning me because, you know, I better watch out because FBI is looking at Jamal and all this. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You sound really panicky right now. I don't know why, but you sound really panicky right now. So, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm not doing anything that Jamal said or does or filed or whatever. That's just a Moor. He's active more in his territory. Honors to that Moor. They went from 2 people in a room to going jurisdiction to jurisdiction, just taking this information to the people. I'm gonna knock that because I don't like guns and they happen to exercise their Second Amendment. I'm gonna be mad? Why am I gonna be mad? Why am I really gonna be mad? Because I'm a Moor over here. I don't mess with guns. Put it on the record already. I don't do guns and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, say, gun, whatever, lyrics and songs, that's just lyrics. Like, I'm not no gun guy. You know what I mean? Right? I don't do the gun thing. It's not that I hate them, I don't like them or whatever. It's just not on the dial plate. Ain't no big deal. Told you, we've been to lectures that I did personally, and I know Moore's had it on them in there. I know they had it on them. Not because they're trying to do something or prove something or whatever, but yo, they got Second Amendment right. When they were nigger, they had it on them. Ain't no different. I'm just not using this on my own brother now. I'm not using this for violence. I'm not using this for all the negative stuff which is of the lower self because I'm a Moor now. You know? And I don't have nothing to do with guns, arms, whatever you want to call it. I have nothing to do with that. Stuff with bullets, rounds and whatever. Right? But I'm not going to tell that Moor, nah, you're dirty because you're exercising a right. You're not exercising a privilege. You're not exercising some ordinance. You're not exercising from some act, some state, whatever. You're exercising a right that is inalienable. Because if you have a First Amendment right to life, liberty, and freedom of speech and all that stuff, you better have a way to protect that. If you have a 3rd and 4th and 7th and whatever amendment right, there might be people who want to violate that right. Are you able to protect that right? Some people don't even need to ask the question because they already got their door kicked in and stuff like that to know that these people aren't playing. They already seen people on the news get foot on the neck and die in front of people with phones that didn't even throw a shoe at these people. They didn't even spit on a highwayman, but they got video recording of it though. And nobody kicked the guy's ass with the video camera and just stood there and did nothing. Didn't say anything. You just stood there videotaping. So it's not some violence thing, right? You have a right to life. Are you a sovereign citizen because you exercise that right to living? Because you want to live and exercise the right to live, you're a sovereign citizen. How? How is that anti-government? If happiness is over there, I can pursue happiness with all my might if I want to, or no might whatsoever. And you can't do anything about it because I have that right to do that. And if I decide to go all out in the pursuit of happiness and you stick your foot out, trip me or whatever like that, you're violating my right to happiness. Because you can't tell me what makes me happy. Why are you telling me what makes me happy when you don't have that right? So the rule of law is, once you're not violating anybody else's rights, you should be able to exercise your right with no issues. So if I know the guy over there has a big sign out front, trespassers will be shot. Is he a sovereign citizen? He didn't even tell you if he has anything to shoot you. He just put a sign out there, trespassers will be shot. What's that called? That's called notice. And once you got put on notice, then if you trespass, you get shot. It's not. First thing judge gonna ask, was there a notice up? Yeah. You see the notice? Yeah, but then we had to go through the back because we... What didn't you get about the notice? So don't play games with people's rights, because rights are a very serious thing. Don't think because you don't think they should have that right that you... It doesn't go like that. It doesn't go like that. You cannot take away somebody's right. I don't care how much you don't like it. You deal with it. You can't take away somebody's rights and then claim that you got rights and whatever like that. You don't want European to do nothing to you, but then you're taking away other people's rights. It's a right. I don't care if they had a bazooka in the video. They have a right. They violating somebody's rights with that? No. They're just standing there with it. What are they doing? They doing something? What are they doing? Well, they were outside and they were shooting at stuff and all this. Okay, but they also went around and put a perimeter and then put some rules and laid down everything so everybody knows what's going on, that this is dangerous and you need to be extremely careful right now, because we don't want anything to happen to anyone. And everybody agreed. And everything happened and there was no incidents or whatever, because everybody followed the thing just like they're supposed to follow it, so everything's safe or whatever like that, and then everything's safe. Oh, but the guy who says, oh, let's bring the guys down to the gym and then have them shoot 50 and put the pine cones and then them go around the pipe, you're not calling them sovereign citizens. How come they're not sovereign citizens? They're training. How come their training is not qualified as sovereign citizen, but some Moors with guns in the bushes training is sovereign citizen? It's training. What's the problem? What's the issue? So there has to be some bigger stuff going on. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't make any sense. Because every individual on the planet, they have a right. Depending on where they're at, they got certain rights. In North America, you have a right to bear arms. That's not a privilege. That's a right. That's just what it is. Anybody can, if they choose to. If you don't choose to, then hey, you don't have to, because it's a right. It's yours to use or not use. It's your right. It doesn't belong to them because they're the ones that give you the license with the and then you go to the class and the. I'm not talking about all that. I'm talking about the fundamental thing that you're doing. You have a right to property. If you have property, you would probably want to protect it because insurance doesn't protect property. Insurance is a game. Steal your finance. The real insurance is trespassers will be shot. Guarantee nobody try to steal your stuff. Guaranteed. Not because of what we have inside, in the trunk, under the bed, in the cupboard, under the stove. Not because of that. Just the thought that you could get shot if you cross this line. Right? If every man knew, if you rape a woman, we cut your hand off. You think guys would rape? So if you're a gold digger and you're taking advantage of the father of your children because you're a gold digger and he's being the best man that he can be, we're cutting your foot off. You think these sisters will be doing brothers crazy? It's not because the blood and oh my gosh, it's not because of that. Just the thought. Just the thought alone is going to get you to go right. Because you already know what you're going to get if you don't go right. Real basic. You have rights. When people try to take your rights away, that's a violation of law. And it's absolutely a farce for a Moor to try to take another Moor's right or a bunch of Moors' rights just because they don't agree with that right. You can't do that. You can't do that. And all that to say, there's no such thing as some Kujos and some Jamals. Like there's these little groups of little running around or something like that. There's none of that. That's a fiction. That's clickbait stuff. Right? That's complete fiction. I don't have no followers personally. There's no Moors because I'm a Moor. Right? Chinese guy knows Chinese guys. Japanese guy knows Japanese guys. I'm a Moor, so I know Moors. That's just, it's not anything crazy.
They are upset with me because I am speaking the truth.
Okay. Nobody is upset because we just did the email back and forth or whatever like that. And there's no issues. You're saying, I gotta watch myself because FBI is looking at him. I'm saying, what are you talking about? FBI is looking at him. And? Like what? What are you talking about? Why is that? Like what? Like I don't get what the issue is. The FBI went to see him, so okay. So that means what? Because we know Moors who the FBI went to check. We know Moors. FBI went to see. No big deal. FBI, or you think Jason Bourne and all that type of stuff like that ain't, it's not that serious. Nobody has an issue with Moors. Nobody. Everybody's good with the Moors. Right? Everybody's good with the Moors. But there's issues. Like I'm telling you, we've dealt with highwaymen out here. And highwaymen know who we are. They know who we are. It's not like some cult or some whatever. Right? But we're definitely not upset. There's no upset going on. That's much. That's much. Right? Because the real, again, truth of the matter. Let's just, since people like to bring up the prophet and all this stuff, people like to bring up the prophet all the time. Interesting, people like to bring up the prophet. But then, when you're taking what the prophet's saying, he's not saying what the other people are trying to make it sound like. So this is from the Oral Statements book. It's the Oral Statements book. And this is Oral Statement 98. Oral Statement 98. Brother Smith Bay of Temple 3 and 9 states that some Asiatics paid some hitmen to kill the Holy Prophet. When the hitmen went to the temple where the Holy Prophet was teaching, that they opened the door and found the temple building full of soldiers. The hitmen went back to the people that hired them and told them, "Don't you pay us to do anything to any of those Moorish Americans." During the life of the Holy Prophet, there were many members of the National Guard, both officers and enlisted men, that were members of the Moor Science Temple of America in Chicago, Illinois. So how is a Moor telling you in 2020 right to bear arms is some sovereign citizen, whatever, but some hitmen went to the temple? They didn't even get to the prophet. They opened the door and the place was full of soldiers. They didn't tell you about that part about Noble Drew Ali. They're telling you BS about circus magician. Right? Make you think about some gypsy BS. You can't tell people no Second Amendment right, they're dirty Moors because they have guns or whatever. But in Noble Drew Ali's time, soldiers were in the temple. What are you talking about? Why are soldiers in the temple for? Soldiers have guns, don't they? Don't soldiers have guns? Let me ask the chat. Hey chat, if I said soldier, is a gun gonna come to your mind, or are you gonna omit the weapon? If some hitmen go into a building and all they saw was just soldiers in there, and they just decided, oh no, we're just gonna not, because they know martial arts, Oh, because they know martial arts. Oh. Alright. So that would mean that Noble Drew Ali must have been doing some type of exercising of the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, regulated militia and all that. Remember this Noble Drew Ali? Don't say nothing to the Kudros and the Jamals and all that. This is Noble Drew Ali. Well, we don't know if he really said that. We go, oh, all right, okay. Okay, interesting. 99. Interesting, these are back to back too. Stressing the point. Brother T. Booker Bay, Grand National Treasurer, said that the Holy Prophet gave a party for the Moors and that the Prophet had everything fixed up nice. He even had pool tables for their enjoyment. The Moors were happy, and the Prophet said, I am happy when my Moors are happy. But some unconscious Asiatics tried to break up the party. When they tried, some of the Moors, who were members of the National Guard, went to the armory and came back to the party with army tanks, trucks, and guns. When the Asiatics saw this, they took off with such fright that some of the men ran into buildings and knocked themselves out. He said that the word got out, don't mess with Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because he is connected with the government. Didn't he tell you that you're part and parcel to the said government? Alright, so if he's part and parcel, then no wonder the Moors that were National Guard could just go to the armory and get army tanks and trucks and guns. Now, I'm pretty sure certain people have read this. How come they didn't say Prophet Noble Drew Ali is doing sovereign citizen stuff when they read this and put that on blast? Make a video about that. How come you don't make a video about Noble Drew Ali being a domestic terrorist? Because he got tanks, tanks, trucks, and guns. That's what Noble Drew Ali's coming with. Noble Drew Ali's coming with tanks, trucks, and guns. That if Jamal with his little pea shooter or whatever is a sovereign citizen, then what's Noble Drew Ali right now if he has got a tank and all this? What's he? What's he? Noble Drew Ali has tanks. Where they training using those stuff? How are you talking about Second Amendment and Moors don't have that and that's not right, Moors are wrong, when Noble Drew Ali had tanks, trucks, and guns? Stop playing. And I know you have this literature to know that Noble Drew Ali had National Guard that were members of the temple. So he had access to guns and nukes and whatever else he wanted. People are violating. They better watch themselves. They're already in messed up situations and stuff like that. They're already in messed up situations. And then they're not gonna realize and stop playing? Still gonna play games? Nah. Whatever. Who don't hear must feel, right? 119. Brother T. Booker Bay said at one night's temple meeting, a dirty Moor chased the Holy Prophet around the temple building with a knife. The Moors just looked at it. After the event, the Holy Prophet told the Moors, I have got a mind to leave you. Brother T. Booker Bay said that the Moors got down on their knees and begged the Prophet to not leave them. After their begging the Holy Prophet not to leave, a man appeared in the room that looked like a Turk. And he said, if you harm a hair on his head, we will come and destroy you all. Now, if Noble Drew Ali's boy is the Turk that is going to take your head, if you harm a hair on the Prophet's head, just a hair, harm a hair, and you'll get dealt with. That's Noble Drew Ali. That's Noble Drew Ali's right-hand man, the Turk that would take your head if you play around. Brother I. Cook Bay said that the Holy Prophet said, I am a general as well as a prophet. So if Noble Drew Ali is a general, I'm sure he has access to guns, right? If he's a general. In the chat, do you think a general has access to guns? Anybody in the chat? Just put something in the chat if you think a general is going to have access to guns. And if he has access to guns, wouldn't that mean that the general is a sovereign citizen according to certain people? Oh. So obviously, Rise of the Moors is not in the wrong here. Obviously not. Because, I mean, Noble Drew Ali has tanks, armory, National Guard, soldiers. He's a general. I mean, what more do you need to hear that obviously the Moors had an army as well? Obviously. And remember, this is Noble Drew Ali, this is not Kudrow, so don't make no 3-hour video on Kudrow said whatever. Remember, this is all Noble Drew Ali we're reading from. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just letting you know what Noble Drew Ali said with regard to guns and all that stuff. I am a general as well as a prophet. I was Muhammad. Muhammad defeated the Roman Empire. When I conquered Rome, we went in with the sword. You could hear the sword swinging. I cut the head of Rome off, pulled down the flags, sent letters to the other European governments, and asked them, was I right? They said, yes, Muhammad, you are right. Just let us have a place to live. And this is where all the whole 711 AD and all that stuff, and the Moors and civilizing the Europeans, because all of it is part of the story that they don't want to tell you, that there's only two races, caveman and the Asiatics. That's it. None personal. Oh, I'm reading from what every Moor in the Moorish Science Temple of America, Moorish Divine National Movement, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, should have. Oral statements and prophecies of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, founder of the MST of A. Oral statements and prophecies of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's what we're reading from. Moors have access to this. This is not some secret in the vault book that we're bringing out to try to look like we know something. This is basic stuff in the Moorish literature. This is why we have to wonder what the hell is going on right now, because this is not what Noble Drew Ali said. People are trying to make you think right to bear arms is some sovereign citizen stuff. Okay, fine, it's sovereign citizen stuff, but Noble Drew Ali talks about it too. So if he talks about it, then now are you going to throw Noble Drew Ali under the bus and say he's a Moorish sovereign citizen? Just like you said, Rise of the Moors are sovereign citizens? Because if Noble Drew Ali had tanks, you can't tell me little pea shooter shooting in the woods is getting more attention than a tank at the temple. The Moor pulled up to the temple with the tank just to show people. And we got the prophet. We got him. We got his back. Why you think the whole campaign has always been let them join something so they can ship them out of here? How come they're never fighting no wars here? How come they're always sending them somewhere? Because they're getting rid of the heirs. (176) Brother G. Cook Bey, GS, of Temple 1, said that the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, "I'm going to save you all if I have to kill you all." Dead or alive, you're going to be saved. You worried about the Moorish sovereign citizen over there with 2 guns when Prophet Noble Drew Ali straight telling you he's going to kill you if you don't want to be saved? He'll kill you and save you that way. He's not sovereign. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Picking and choosing stuff is interesting. How people pick and choose stuff. Brother J. Foster Bey, Brother W. Davis L., Grand Governor of Michigan, and Brother J. Blakely Bey, Supreme Grand Advisor and Moderator, who were all members of Temple 4 in Detroit, Michigan during the lifetime of the Holy Prophet. They all said that at one meeting, when the Holy Prophet was in Detroit speaking in the temple, an Asiatic got up while the Holy Prophet was speaking and said, "If that man is a prophet, I would be willing to give up my life." This angered some of the Moors that heard it. Brother W. Davis L. said that some of the Moors started moving upon him to death. But the Holy Prophet held up his hand and said, "Children, did you hear that? It is too bad." After the Holy Prophet spoke those words, this Asiatic fell back into his seat and slumped down. When the Moors carried him out of the building, he was dead. That man had killed himself with his words that he spoke, because Noble Drew Ali is truly a prophet from Allah. You messing around with that? Shh. Messing with that? If someone assaults you, flee from him. If you cannot flee from him, turn around and drop the world on him. You think drop the world on somebody is a love slap? Do you think drop the world on somebody is? Huh? What do you think? What do you think? Stop playing. You already know what's up. And again, don't forget, go get that 77 amazing facts about the Moors. KhalifaMedia.com. The last one. .238. During the first annual convention in 1928, one of the grand governors of a state failed to appear at the convention. Brother J. Blakely Bey said that the Holy Prophet sent the grand governor a telegram informing him that if he did not attend the convention, that he, the Holy Prophet, was going to have the FBI to arrest him. But Rise of the Moors works with the FBI because the FBI went to see them and they're sovereign citizen. Well, Noble Drew Ali was sending the FBI to go get these dirty Moors who weren't going to the convention during his time. Oh yeah, of course. Everybody started with us. All the new generation Moors, the Moors after Asir and Obashango and Rudra. Who again? Sisters Akina. The generations after. They all had the same master teachers. We all had the same master teachers. Brother Hakim, Alim, we're the generations after. Then Jamal's and those Moors are the generations after us. Because I already know that it was gonna be on, and he got warned early. He got warned early. Watch out. These Moors. When these Moors, of course, can't forget Grand Sheikh nature. When these Moors start waking up to really what this is about and what Noble Drew Ali was doing, they're gonna be upset. And not gonna be upset and do anything. Just gonna be upset and do what has to be done, since it wasn't done. So honors to all the Moors who are taking this to the hedges and the highways and doing their best to let somebody else know. You're not telling them about some package. You're not telling them about try to join their club. They got the secret formula for you to be a real super Moor and all this. Ain't none of that BS. People who are just dealing with other Moors like their brothers and sisters. That's what this is about. Anybody who's not on that, they don't know what this is about. They're trying to play you. This is about honor thy father and mother, not about commerce. Anybody telling you this is about commerce, they're playing you. This is about know thyself. Higher self and lower self. Just know them. You'll be alright. It's about family and relatives. And your family are the people who you see eye to eye. Relatives are the people who your blood, but they don't want any of this. They're content being there, whatever they say they are. It's cool, you know what I mean? I'm still gonna be over there when it's, you know what I mean, Christmas dinner and New Year dinner and all the dinners. I'm gonna be there because I want to get my food and stuff. I want my Tupperware, so I don't have to cook. So I'll be there. Don't think that I'm a Moor, so I'm not coming to the Christmas stuff. No. I know Christmas is our stuff. I'm not dumb. I'm not Negro. But I'm also not Christian. But I'm a Gnostic, so I get you. You know what I mean? I'll even bring a present or two. And, oh yeah, when you hear this thing about back and forth and all this stuff, and you're thinking about, oh, why are the Moors like that and all this, that's not how you're supposed to look at this. Right? We don't bother anybody. People put stuff in our DM that we know is BS. Like, for example, somebody sent me this. I don't know, somebody sent me this, that, oh yeah, he's live right now, Kudro's and Jamal's. I'm like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? Put it in the DM. Yeah, no problem. Don't get mad when we address what you put in the DM. And that's it. You know, they're not stopping nothing. You're not stopping Jamal's from exercising the Second Amendment. You're not stopping them. They're going to do that. They're still going to go. They're probably practicing right now. Don't waste your time getting lost, thinking that there's some battle or something between Moors. You know, that's not what's going on. There's activity and passivity. Right? You already know us. You know, you already know we're not no passive Moors. You already know that. You don't have to prove anything. All right? We did better than starting some Supreme Grand Council. We unified Moors all over the world. Moors who didn't even know they lived down the street from each other got connected because of Canaanland Moors. Right? Moors who it was all fun and games. When we could go getting drunk and all that stuff, being dumb niggers. And now they want to know about their Moors. I still have a drink or two. But we know that we're Moors now. We know we're not going for that game like we're something else, which is what this is about. Change the people's mindset. What were the Panthers doing? Change the people's mindset. What you mean? You got rights. You got rights to bear arms. Once you're not pointing it at nobody, once you're not pointing it at the ground, once you're not doing anything with it that you shouldn't be doing, everything's cool. I mean, it's not nothing to panic about because you don't got one. Don't panic. It's all right. Don't panic. It's okay. You know? That's like you're walking down the street, it's a hot day. Everybody got a freezy and you don't have one, and they're sovereign citizens because they got freezy. Why are you? It's easy. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. You're not stopping these Moors' right to nationality. So trust me, you're not stopping their right to bear some arms. Stop the BS. And go back to putting out some info or whatever. If you don't got nothing to put out, then just go study or something. Can't be talking crazy. Noble Drew Ali had tanks and stuff like that, and you're not calling him sovereign citizen? We're gonna call these Moors with some slingshots? Moor has slingshots and he's a sovereign citizen, but Noble Drew Ali, who got army and national guard and all that stuff, he's not more a sovereign citizen. That's the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and all that. The hell out of here. Stop this. Please stop. Happy holy day to all the Moors. Islam. I know, it's just funny. Actually, before we close out, let's just watch some more, see where else this goes. It's playing around right now. Good. That's the sign. We don't need it. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Happy holy day. Honors to all the mothers out there. And all the new Moors, just hit the DM or Canaanlandguide@gmail.com, or just go to RV Bay Publications and stay there for a year and don't move from there until you learn a year's worth of stuff off there, because there's about 15 years worth of stuff on there. So, you know, Islam to all, peace and love to all the Moors. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali for being the great example that he was for us, and for bringing us the truth about our nationality and our birthrights. To know that we are not Negro, black, colored, Ethiopian, African, Indian. We're not West Indian. We're not Caribbean. We're not Latino. We're Moors. Honors, peace, and love to all.